Hello, I'm Mr. Hartgrave, and this is Mr. Barkgrave, and this is everything you need to know about HELA. The first thing you need to know is that Greg is better. What is a Greg? All right, let's get into this. This is kind of like some 3-year-old Marvel Strike Force lore. You've probably heard this thrown around, and some of you might be wondering, what are you talking about? What is a Greg? So when HELA was originally data mined, her companion here, her undead Asgardian summon, which you can have a look at in game right here, he was referred to as Greg in the data files. So the original data leak from HELA referred to the undead Asgardian as Greg. And yes, it's true. He's actually better than HELA. He's one of the best characters in the game. He's easily top 5, and he just got even better than that. And most of it here is going to be Dark Sacrifice. And if you look at Dark Sacrifice, it attacks the primary target for 400% piercing, applies 2 bleed, heal block. If he's on war offense, we'll get to that later, but he also kills himself, which is good because we're going to check out his passive as well. This attack gains a whole bunch of focus, so those bleeds already land, and this is the new part. This is incredible. This is what you need to know, and what I didn't really understand about Greg, because you don't really look at him. He's kind of buried deep in this game. Characters killed by this attack cannot be revived. He's like a Dormammu counter. Can you believe it? We have our first hard counter to Dormammu, and it's undead Asgardian. It's little Greg over here. All right, and here's why it's good that he dies. Because on death, he gives a heal out for any Asgardian or undying characters, and he reduces the speed bar of all enemies by 10%. So you want him to die as much as possible, and you want him to die using his special. That's right, you heard it here, everybody, and you probably heard it before. Greg is OP. HELA has the best ultimate attack in the entire game. Her ultimate attack was always good, but with the rework, it got really taken into a whole other level. So if you look at Death Knives here, and you got to put the tier 4 on this for it to really work. And first off, you don't even need Zombie Iron Man around, and we're going to talk about that too. But look, it clears all barrier, regardless of how much barrier they had. And if you've been noticing these new kits that are coming out, there's a lot of extra barrier that's being applied. Every character is like adding barrier. The first thing this does before it even does its damage is it clears all barrier, just removes it, and then it does 350 damage, and it spreads 4 negative effects. Now, if you got Zombie Iron Man, that's a whole other story, but let's just go with that for now. It spreads 4 negative effects. In most cases, on most teams, you only got like 4 negative effects. Some teams drop a lot of negative effects, but we'll get to that. He applies regeneration. Here's the big extra kicker that you might be missing about this that you need to know. It gets 5,000 extra focus. So those debuffs that it's spreading, it always lands those debuffs. It does. It always lands those debuffs. So that's crazy. Regardless of what level she is, regardless of how much focus she has, it's an extra 5,000%. This ultimate attack is insane. Plus, characters killed by this attack cannot be revived. Do you need more reasons why this is the most insane ultimate attack in the entire game? It's very important to note that HELA uses cosmic gear. Now, there's very few characters right now in this current meta that use cosmic gear. In fact, only one of them, Heartless Doctor Strange, is required to take up to tier 17 or tier 16 to get Apocalypse. So really, it's not advisable to take any cosmic characters other than Cosmic Doctor Strange, Heartless Doctor Strange, up to tier 16 right now for Dark Dimension 5. I would say HELA is a character that is fairly safe to take up to tier 16. I wouldn't put her up to tier 17, but if you're looking to go into Dark Dimension 5, you're looking to get Dormammu, then putting tier 16 on HELA is about as safe as it can be. I mean, you may want to get your Darkhold done first because they're all mystic characters as well, but there's really not a lot of other options. You got Heartless Doctor Strange, you got HELA, and then maybe you can consider the hero Asgardians, although that might be shooting yourself in the foot. We're really going to have to see how these next few releases pan out as far as more cosmic characters, but I don't really see them coming at least for another few months. So if you want to get into Dark Dimension 5 right now and get Dormammu, there are so many worse choices than HELA. HELA should be good in this meta, in this game, for at least a year, maybe even 2. HELA had a huge shelf life the first time she came around, and I think it's even going to be longer this time. In addition to being cosmic, she's also a villain. Now, you know we have a problem with villains in this game. We don't have enough villains. We don't have enough villains for new characters. We don't have enough overpowered villains that are farmable. Here she is. HELA, she's a villain character, and that's a wonderful thing. We need to see more villain characters, so I'm really happy she got a rework and is now back in the meta for Marvel Strike Force. Speaking of villains, she pairs great with Zombie Iron Man. However, unlike Zombie Iron Man, who needs HELA to really work, HELA works fine without Zombie Iron Man. So if you miss Zombie Iron Man or don't want to build Zombie Iron Man, it's absolutely fine. HELA is still good even without Zombie Iron Man. She needs no other character to make her powerful. She also does not need to be a skirmisher, which is crazy for a character like her who needs so much focus. But here, check this out. All right, so why am I saying that she doesn't need to be a skirmisher, and why have I made her a striker? Okay, now I'm not going to say you 100% need to make her a striker. That's a personal decision for me. Raider, I know a lot of people are going with. I mean, you can make a case for anything really, other than skirmisher. Skirmisher's not needed, and why? Because they stuck that 5,000 focus on her ultimate attack, and I really love that they did that. And I told the developers that directly. I said, this is great. Like, I like this. It seems lazy, right? I think I even told it. I said, it seems lazy to do this, but I actually like it because this makes it so you don't have to make her a skirmisher. If this wasn't here, then like you would have to make her a skirmisher because you want these debuffs to land. You need the extra focus, but she's got so much focus, you never need to think about that. So you can start thinking about, do you want her extra attack on the striker? Do you want the extra damage because her death knives on kill, the characters can't be revived. So pumping up the damage on that could be the difference between winning or losing a round. Like there's so many things that you can think about now that you don't have to like pigeonhole her into skirmisher. I really love that part of her kit. I think it's really great and I'm happy to see it. HELA is not just for war. Zombie Iron Man is kind of more locked into war than HELA, but even him, he can use outside of war, but he does need HELA. Now, HELA and Zombie Iron Man together, I think are going to be top tier for Scourge, and I'm really curious about what the requirements are going to be for the nodes, for Death, for Archangel. I kind of feel like they're going to make nodes that need to have Undying on them. Like I almost suspect like a couple of nodes are going to be like Undying and Hand, like almost forcing you in to using HELA and Zombie Iron Man. I wouldn't be surprised. But even the other Scourges that we know about have a lot of villain nodes, and even the ones that have Cosmic Mystic nodes, HELA is such a great choice now. Even without Zombie Iron Man, HELA is more powerful in all game modes. She has uses in the arena. She's amazing in Cosmic Crucible. Just like any game mode where you have a team where you can drop debuffs and then spread them to everybody with 5,000 focus. Like I can't think of a game mode where this isn't useful. Maybe I don't know. Everywhere, pretty much every game mode HELA's good in, top tier, amazing character, not just for war, although she does excel in war. Her and Zombie Iron Man alone are doing these amazing punch-ups that I see people putting up. Let me know down in the comments, what are you doing with your Zombie Iron Man and HELA? Now, I've talked a lot in this video about how HELA doesn't need Zombie Iron Man, but make no mistake, HELA does make even like a very weak Zombie Iron Man, 2 stars, no gear, whatever, man. Any kind of Zombie Iron Man becomes amazing when paired with HELA. So don't hesitate to throw Zombie Iron Man with your HELA, even if your HELA's like level 90, tier 16. Throw Zombie Iron Man on there, even if he's like, tier 12, level 10. What I'm saying. Zombie Iron Man and HELA together is crazy delicious. And one of the main reasons to do it is that ultimate move. So I said I would get around to this earlier. This is what I'm going to say. This is like, it takes the most amazing ultimate and makes it hands down the best ultimate in the game, because not only if you have if Zombie Iron Man is just there, and keep in mind, Zombie Iron Man cannot die if HELA is his ally. So he'll always be there. He could just eat attacks. It's insane how good this combination is. But she normally spreads 4 negative effects. If Zombie Iron Man's there, she spreads all negative effects, all of them, no matter how many there are, with 5,000 focus. Are you kidding me? This is insane. Yeah, I can't say enough about it. Just throw Zombie Iron Man on the team if you're using HELA. If you can, unless it's a game mode where you can't use it for some reason, like raids or whatever. But wow, just amazing synergy between the two. All right, finally, the last thing you need to know about HELA is that she is farmable from villain campaign. So if you don't have HELA, the good news is you can get her. If you click on find over here, you can find her in the Villains United campaign 7-6. A little difficult to get there, but not too bad. You do need some other villains to get to her. Honestly, if you've unlocked Zemo, you can probably beat the whole campaign with just Zemo. Although I wouldn't recommend, building Zemo up to extreme levels. I would recommend that new players do unlock Zemo and use him to beat the villains campaign, and definitely use him to unlock HELA. Now, they also put her on the new Heroes hard campaign, but that's going to be harder to get to. And what I like about this is that she's easy to get to on the villains campaign, on the normal regular villains campaign. And then you can use her on the Mystic campaign, which is great because there's not like a whole lot of great Mystic characters that you can get as a starting player. But HELA's going to get you through this, especially if you're able to unlock Thor as well and use the combination of Thor and HELA to kind of go through this Mystic campaign. This is fantastic. And some of the things you can get on here, 2 great characters. You can get Cable. I know he's not maybe like the most amazing, but Cable refuses to leave the meta on this game. He's got this speed mechanic where even just him being there, even just a low level Cable can still be useful even in the end game. I use him daily. And then finally, for new players, this is crucial, is getting up here to Kate Bishop. Kate Bishop to complete out your Young Avengers team. The 2 best beginners teams are still Young Avengers and Wakanda, even more now with Wakanda. Oh my God. And stay tuned to this channel. Make sure you like, make sure you subscribe, because we will have more, we'll have an update to our beginner's guide coming. If you're a new player, or even if you're an old player and you're just curious about what's going on with the new player experience. Come and check that out. We're going to put that out soon. I hope you enjoyed this video, this ongoing series of what you need to know. I think the next one we're going to make is going to be on Magneto and Psylocke. Let me know if you're interested in more of these. And grave diggers, keep digging. But myself keeps slipping.